It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Very good morning. Welcome back to the show. Now, it's time that we speak about relationships because it's that time of a Monday. Deep breath.
We got this.
Now, entering into a new relationship with somebody completely new can almost feel like starting on a clean slate, right? Now, you have another chance to impress and woo the person who has not yet heard about any skeletons that you may have in your closet. However, there usually comes a time when difficult confessions about your past need to be made, and some of these may change the course of your relationship, whether it is for the good or for the worse.
So we're asking the question now, do you have any baggage from your past that you need to tell your current partner about? And how will this infiltrate your current relationship? Our relationship expert, Dr. Eve, is in the building to answer your questions or comments on this difficult topic. So please remember, this is a very safe space. You can give us a call on 021-430-9881 and we will engage with you. Dr. Eve, good morning.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Good to have you, good to have you. I'm not sure if the black dress is symbolic of what we're talking about today.
The black dress is actually symbolic. It's my New York dress, and in 2 hours I leave for New York.
Oh my
Yes!
goodness! Okay, as one
Operation
does.
hashtag fill up the passports.
You know, well, we're so happy that you made some time for us. Let's start off with the
Yeah.
most important question. When it comes to a brand new relationship that you're bringing past baggage into, why is it so nerve-wracking for people to talk about past experiences or past things that they feel might infiltrate their current relationship?
Because none of us want to be showing who we truly are. So, you know, instinctively, we show those peacock feathers and we really want to impress and we really want to work hard at attaching the person to us. So there is a fear that anything that we may reveal that really may be something that is still bothersome for us is going to chase that person away.
Yeah.
So I was looking at, you know, what is the definition of baggage? What is it? And I love the one definition, which is something that I feel shameful about.
Yeah.
Something that I feel somebody's going to judge me on.
Yeah.
And naturally, when one feels shameful or fears judgment, you're going to keep it a secret. But it bites your ass. It kind of gets back to you at a certain point. But one has to handle his baggage really carefully. Yes.
Yeah,
Kat?
so I guess my next question following that up would be, should you feel guilty about certain confessions about the past that you make to your current partner?
Yeah.
Should one feel guilty? You say there's a fear of judgment there,
Yes,
but
exactly.
the guilt part of it.
Yeah, I like that, because what do we feel guilty about generally? Things that society deems are immoral or that are judge-worthy. Things like infidelity. Things even like incarceration, if you have a record of that. But people even feel guilty about abuse history. And that abuse could be because I have been exposed to childhood abuse, or I've come out of an abusive relationship with a past partner, and also some kind of childhood trauma, something like sexual violence or rape. So we feel that we will be judged because society says that those things are not cool, so we don't show them to our partner. And that's kind of wrong, because you want to have somebody who sees all the different parts of you and can have empathy and then can make a decision. Can I deal with this baggage that this person brings? And we'll talk about, you know, what do we do with this baggage and how do people spot baggage? Because it's very important that somebody should be able to pick up baggage in another person.
This is true. When do you know is the right time, though? Because you don't want to go around sharing something that's potentially huge and that will impact your relationship if, you know, you guys are not at a place where you know that it's worthwhile doing.
Absolutely. It's incredibly important to be able to assess what this person is empathetically and psychologically. And also how much investment you want to be making in the situation. Is it something I just want to hook up or I just want a temporary thing with? How much do I really want to share? And one feels, you have to be able to feel how trustworthy is this person? How much of an empath is this person? How much judgment do they have? So, you know, you talk about politics and you talk about things like, you talk broadly about these topics before you're going to dive in and say, well, actually, I committed infidelity. This person may be somebody who's really, really opposed and says, that's a deal breaker. But if you keep it secret and they find out, that's going to be worse for you.
All right. Well, a very, very interesting and engaging topic. And so we ask you, do you have any baggage from the past that you need to tell your current partner about? And how will this infiltrate your current relationship? Feel free to give us a call on 021-430-9881 with your questions and your comments for Dr. Eve.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
All right. Listen,
We
we're
in
back
here.
again with
Wow.
Dr. Eve.
What a
Dr. Eve
topic.
on her phone. We're busy engaging in this topic today, and a very difficult one. We're talking about making confessions about the past to your current partner in your relationship and how that might have its effects. And we ask you to please call us on 021-430-9881. Lisa is on the line right now. Good morning, Lisa.
Hi.
Good morning, how are you?
Very, very well. Thank you so much for your call. What is your question or comment for Dr. Eve?
It's really just a comment. You know, I'm a divorced single mom, and when I got divorced, there was a lot of regret, there was a lot of guilt. And when I went into a new relationship, I just felt, you know, there's no time in life to go in blind, or in the sense of not allowing your partner to know everything. So everything was put out on the table, and as was with him, but on his side. But at the end of the day, after a short while, I became the baggage, or I became the victim of his baggage. So that was a huge issue for me to undergo, especially carrying what I did out of my relationship and my divorce. So it became a big toll on me, and I started bearing all the, you know, the guilt and the regret that I wanted to work through with this chap, and it really didn't work out very well in the end. I have fortunately left him, and the new relationship I'm in now, after a break, is just absolutely amazing. You know, you have to come out clean. You can't start on a new slate, hiding things and being disrespectful towards the other person's truth, really. And fortunately, I can say I'm really happy now.
Yeah. Perhaps could we take a leaf out of your book, Lisa, and ask that when you did come out clean in your new relationship, how did you approach that subject or that conversation? Was it we need to sit down and talk, and then you literally opened up about everything, or how did you let that happen?
Yeah, I think, you know, I went in very light in the sense that I was, you know, I had a big wall up and made it clear that there was no way I was going to dive in deep from the very start. I wasn't ready. So it started off with respect from the very get-go, and then eventually after a few coffee meetings with friends, and him included, I felt an interest on my side, and I felt that this was kind of a person that I'd really like to foresee a future with, and the feeling was mutual. So I decided it was time to open up and fill him in, and that's what we did on both ends, and it was just a huge step. It was like taking 10 steps up, and we've just never looked back.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think just briefly to comment, Lisa, maybe in the previous relationship straight after your divorce, you were a little vulnerable and needed to not only confess but kind of vomit and expected, as you said, to heal through this new relationship, and that's never a good thing to do. And perhaps he had the same agenda, where he was really wanting you to be the person to heal with him or through him around his so-called baggage, and that's never a good idea. So you always want to check up on what I call, you know, red flags. How do you know when somebody's carrying baggage that they haven't processed or integrated yet? That's like really, really important thing to do.
Yeah.
So there are certain signs to look for. If this person...
Gosh, you're so spot on. You're so spot on. It's quite scary. I'm actually shaking because there were so many
Lisa.
red flags
wow.
from the very beginning, but because I was so vulnerable and so hurt, and the slight bit of affection that was shown to me, I was sucked in. And even though all the red flags were there, unfortunately, I'm very soft and very kind-hearted, and that got the better of me. And I didn't do anything about it from the very start. Yeah.
Well, don't beat yourself up. You know, I can hear in your...
I still do.
I can hear in your voice. There is still some, like, anger at yourself around it. Don't judge yourself around it. You know, just say, luckily you got out of it and are in something that feels a little safer
Absolutely, I was
for
about
you.
to say, look at where you are right now, and it's a happier space.
Yeah,
Lisa, thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Yeah, I want to hear about those red flags, because Lisa said she picked those up, but she was already in so deep already. Maybe for, we're going to take another caller, but we want to discuss that.
Okay.
We've got Zinande on the line. Good morning, Zinande from Durban. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
We're so good. What would you like to ask Dr. Eve?
Okay, I would like to share my experience whereby in my past relationship, I actually compromised a lot financially, and I did assist my ex-boyfriend in developing himself through finances, and it left me with a huge gap financially.
Sure.
because we had to break up because after assistance he left and he developed his business without me. Now in my new relationship, I had to disclose that because the guy that I was dating, I could see that he was really serious about our relationship. But there was a little bit of a judgment that I received, and I thought our relationship was mature enough to handle any past for each other. So he actually really tried to reject me, but I stood up for myself to say, listen, if you do not want me with this kind of experience in your life, then it's not okay for us to carry on. But at a later stage, I think after 2 or 3 months, he came back and he really apologized and he appreciated the fact that I had to disclose everything for the sake of my new relationship. But it left me now with a gap that I'm still currently handling now because now I need to first clean my credit record. And at times, trust me, Expresso, at times when I'm going through paying those debts, it's still, my heart still bleeds.
Oh, it's a trigger for you, huh? You're taken right back to a place where you may have regret. So that's kind of what trauma does. It triggers you. And every time you're going to look at your bank account, and so I can understand why that guy triggered for you a sense of guilt and shame and you had to let him go. So well done for doing that, but also fantastic that he came back and he said, I needed to process this, I needed to think about it, consider my own judgment around that, and I've decided that this is good for me. So there we have an example. You need to come clean.
And perhaps then an opportunity for Zenanda to draw strength from her new relationship that is now continuing under the disclosure that has been made, and to have her be helped by that. When we come back, I want to talk about the partner that is on the receiving end of the confession and perhaps how they could handle it in order to help the relationship and not harm it. And of course, if you have a...
And the red flags.
And the red flags, yes. Give us a call on 021 4309 881.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. I got to tell you, I love our Relationship Mondays. It just gives so much insight into, I know what a lot of people are dealing with, and we're dealing with baggage in your past, now coming into your new relationship. And Dr. Eve, we talked about red flags. And I think some of us who maybe don't know how to look for them, Lisa knew them when she experienced them, but what should we look out for when we come across this?
So when this person feels, is in the beginning of a relationship, is like really behaving in a very anxious way, in a way that they don't have a lot of self-confidence, they present themselves as almost powerless, you kind of want to wonder what's going on with them because they're not disclosing to you. They say, oh, everything's cool, I don't have a lot of baggage, but their behavior shows it a little differently. Also, if they're constantly suspicious and they're surveilling you, whether it's on your phone or your devices, you want to be a little suspicious that they've got baggage that they are bringing in that they haven't resolved around trust. And then also if this person isn't committing to you, they kind of skirt around it and they're quite skittish around being very present or really committing. You have to know that that's because there is baggage that they haven't processed yet and they're not disclosing to you. So you have to talk about those things. So when we talk about, what are the most common baggages that people feel shameful about or that they don't bring in, it is going to be about infidelity, past abuse, and childhood traumas that just may be too overwhelming for them and scared to share with other people. But you've got to be aware of those things when they don't dissolve over time and the person never settles in with you and never feels safe with you and never becomes vulnerable with you. You've got to feel, I'm not comfortable in this space. This person isn't being open with me.
And there's so many different aspects of this conversation that we could look at. And one of them that I wanted to talk about is, as the receiving partner of the confession, how should you handle that? And we talked about the fear of being judged from the person confessing. Now, as the person receiving it, how do you ensure that you help the relationship and not harm it by saying, I respect the fact that you're telling me this openly and know that I'm not judging you on it. In fact, I'm thankful for the fact that you're telling me in the first place. How do you go about that processing that?
I don't think you should claim I'm not judging you because I think you need to take a breath and say, I do feel a judgment. I do feel a judgment around this. I feel a judgment around infidelity or around date. But I am going to say to you, thank you for sharing that with me. I need to process that. I need to think with it. I need to spend time with you. I need to see if there are things about you that are comfortable, that prove trustworthy or give me the feeling of being safe with you.
Yeah.
And then to discuss if it's like around date, well, you know, how much is there? What is it all about? What is your relationship to money? Because at the end of the day, it's like, I want to feel safe with this person, and is he or she going to create debt or redo that and affect my life at the end of the relationship?
Is there ever a possibility, and I'm not saying it's going to be moonshine and roses once the confession has been made, that sometimes there's an expectation on the new partner to make it right?
Oh, goodness, I hope
to
not,
fix
Leanne.
it, to make it better. Because now I've told you this, not maybe financially, but emotionally, you need to be here for me now.
Exactly.
Because I've come from such a difficult past.
Exactly.
Could that happen?
Of course it happens all the time. That's why we get into relationships, because we want to heal our wounds.
Yeah, but that's not fair to the new
absolutely.
person.
But you know, the other person's doing the same thing. That's what relationships are about. One shouldn't be in a relationship until you kind of are settled with your wound and accept your wound, and you know this is the places which are, you know, where are pain, and let your partner know this is a really soft and tender place for me. But you definitely can't get into a relationship and think this person is going to help me clear my baggage up. You have to learn how to manage your baggage on
I'm
your
just
own.
thinking, like, you don't necessarily maybe go into the relationship with an expectation that this person is going to heal me, but when it does come around, is there not an expectation that this person, as my partner, should be supportive in ways that can help me? You know what I mean? Not fix it for me.
Absolutely supportive, because you want to know. I think it's a very precious thing.
Yeah.
I know that this person has a vulnerability around that, and I'm going to make sure I never hurt them around that. And I'm going to be their person. I'm going to be the person standing behind them so that they can heal their own trauma. But I'm not going to be the one to fix it or rescue them from it. I'm just going to be really present and empathic with it.
When we come back, we got to talk about the children, man. What if you have to drop that bomb that I have children that I'm bringing into this relationship? 0214309881. We'll be right back.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
All right, as we continue our relationship talk on this Monday morning, we have a caller on the line. Okay, so not on the line yet, but we do have a basic synopsis of the story that this lady married now with 3 children, her eldest being 14 years old. And at a certain time of the relationship, 14 years old, so at a certain time of relationship, there was infidelity before she was married to her current husband.
Right.
This truth was revealed to her sister, and her sister now revealed that truth to her eldest daughter. So now it's opened up a certain level of conversation that she didn't think she would ever have, and she doesn't know what to do right now. There haven't been any paternity tests done on the eldest child, so I'm sure there's uncertainty there too. What do you do?
Well, first you've got to kick the sister in the ass. I mean, what motivation would she have for telling the child? You just should never be that cruel to a child.
Yeah.
And you know, Katlego, if we were to do paternity tests on all of us, says Graham, we would really be shocked. I mean, there's research on it. That one is not, the father is not who one expects it to be. You know, women go out hunting to make sure that they... Don't be so worried.
No, not at all. I'm completely fine with the paternity of myself and otherwise. I'm just, whoa. I'm listening intently.
It's a very huge fact
that
if one were to do paternity testing, we would be surprised at how many of us are not really... The fathers are not really who the mother has said that it is. But to be putting it into the face and to be disclosing something that personal and that problematic for a whole family system, I think is incredibly unfair.
So now the question is, what does she do now? Because there's no telling when, you know, the little daughter of 14 years old might reach a boiling point, explode, and in conversation might be like, oh, you're not even my father. And then now it's like, whoa, dinner is sour.
Absolutely. And then does she go and look for her own father, and who's her father? And then the mother is shamed, and the relationship between the mother and the husband is completely tainted, completely destroyed. Whatever truth he thought was there is gone.
So what does she do now?
I think they really have to go into therapy, because this is what we call a complex trauma. They really have to look at how to save all these relationships.
I like breaking things down to the practical thing. So now Anonymous is watching right now, and we're addressing her topic. Is it that tonight, when husband arrives, she needs to say, listen, husband, there's something I need to tell you because I've just discovered this last week or whatever the case may be, and this might rock our relationship, but I do want to make it work. We need to go into therapy, and the reason is because this, or keep it all shut, say we need to go to therapy. Once there, reveal everything. What does she do now?
No, I don't think it should be revealed in therapy because that's very traumatic. You're sitting with a third person and then he's hearing it for the first time.
Yeah.
And he can't explode or act out. I would not suggest that. I definitely like what you're saying, is to be able to talk to her partner and to say, there is something which is incredibly heavy, and she doesn't know. Look, she doesn't know whether the paternity of the child is or not, but a seed has been planted.
Yeah. I have such a burning question.
Go,
like,
go.
let's just say you do have baggage. We all have baggage. Everybody's
Yes,
got it.
yes.
But you've dealt with it. It happened a very long time ago.
Yeah.
You've moved on. Do you have to disclose that in a new relationship
Great
if
question.
you feel it's not going to help it or benefit it at all?
Great question.
Yeah. I think, over time, people, when they feel comfortable, when they feel safe, they may want to talk about things that happened to them back in the day.
Yeah.
It is up to each one of us to sift and to be discerning and to know what is private and what needs to be kept secret.
Yeah.
As you say, what will add value, what will be harmful to the
Exactly.
person. But here you've got another dimension, which is a child's being brought into it,
Yeah.
which is the most horrible thing about it. So you can't ignore it. You can't just neglect it, and you can't keep the secret between the mother and the child or the aunt and the child and not tell the husband. That'll be way more destructive. She has to talk to her husband and hopefully be able to keep him contained to see that their relationship is still intact. And how do we deal with it as a family? And you might be very surprised, because I've had situations like this, that the husband says, this is my child. I've raised this child and it really doesn't matter. Let's hope that that will be the outcome.
If we open up another part of the conversation, it
Well,
can carry on
Lord.
for another couple of
This
hours.
needs its own 3 hours,
yeah,
I say.
we'll find a way of
Absolutely.
interweaving it into next week's
Absolutely,
conversation as well. But thank you very much to all of our callers for sharing your stories with
Yes,
us
indeed.
and allowing us to have an opinion from Dr. Eve, an expert opinion, and of
Exactly.
course enlightening us as well.
Exactly, and just to reiterate, we all have baggage. I
Yeah.
don't think it's anything
Totally.
to be ashamed of, and
Absolutely,
it certainly shouldn't
Leanne.
keep you from approaching a new relationship. Right?
Absolutely. We want to be able to integrate your own. So I don't even like the word baggage because it sounds negative.
Exactly.
To be able to integrate your life and the parts of your life that you don't feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
And then and if a partner cannot tolerate that, get out, girlfriend.
I think
Bye,
we'll
Felicia.
leave
Yeah.
the word baggage to only going to New York. Like you are
Absolutely.
going
Woo!
to come back with some great research for us, Dr. Eve. Thank you so much as always, and thanks, babe.